Hello, my name is Israeli Matriculation and you're watching Taped with Rabbi Doug.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're gonna watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. We are here in Skokie, Illinois, where my guest, Rabbi Michael Berenson, and Baruch haba, welcome to Chicago, is here in Chicago, and he is recruiting students for an amazing program. He is the Dean of Overseas Students at Ulpanat Amanah for Girls of Bnei Akiva in Kfar Saba, Israel. And this is a program which is being funded partly by the Jewish Agency and then in Israel by the State of Israel itself, by the government, to allow children from overseas to attend 10th, 11th, and 12th grade in Israel at no charge to the family for tuition, no charge for room and board, and no charge for the travel arrangements to go to Israel to be part of this program. What an amazing thing to think that someone who might be interested in spending, who knows how much money it would cost to send your child to Israel maybe for 6 months of high school, could choose to go for a year of high school, 2 years, 3 years of high school, at absolutely no cost to the family, and the child is going to not only get the Jewish education of their lives, but they're going to get the Israel experience and the mastering of Hebrew that they would never get in any other Jewish day school. Isn't that correct?
Definitely.
Rabbi Berenson was born in New York, made Aliyah with his parents at 13 years old and his family. He was in Hesder Yeshiva Army, and following his army duty in Hesder, he did kiruv work with students. He is married with 7 children and 16 grandchildren, and from 1984 to 1988, he returned to the United States to be shaliach for Bnei Akiva in San Francisco. He also taught in the school there. And 25 years ago, he got involved with this school, Ulpanat Amanah for Girls of Bnei Akiva in Kfar Saba. And just 1 year ago, his dream became reality that this program was opened up and completely funded for overseas students. And he is the Dean of Overseas Students at the school. And I can't thank you enough for coming on the show and being with me today. Tell me what your recruiting process here in the Chicago area is. What have you been doing while you were here, and what type of people have you been meeting with?
I've been, first of all, in contact with families that have shown interest. While I'm in Israel, if I find that a family has shown interest, I will call that family from Israel to Chicago and speak with them and mail back and forth. And after the family has registered, now I'm here for the screening process, which has sessions with psychologists. I interview the girl that wants to come. I interview with parents. And if all goes well, the girl will find herself at the end of August on a plane on her way to Israel to study 3 years at Amanah.
How many students do you have from different countries? Meaning, what is the population of this overseas program at the school? I know there's another section of the school which are Israelis, but for the overseas students, how many countries do you have children from? I should say young adults from, because they're really teenagers.
Well, we have students from countries all over the world, from South Africa, from Australia, from England, from the United States, from Canada, from Holland, from Spain. We have a student from Thailand. So really we cover a lot of ground in our student body.
And this particular school is a Dati school, a religious Shomer Shabbat and Shomer Kashrut, Shomer Mitzvot school. But there are other schools that are available in this program for people who aren't so religious also. Isn't that true?
Correct. There's a school called Mozinson, which is located in Hod HaSharon. It's a co-ed school for families and kids that do not necessarily want to keep Shabbat. So they have that option. We also have, parallel to our school, a program for boys at Yeshivat Shalabim. And there's also a program for girls from Chabad up in Sfad in the school called Bet Chana.
In the whole program, now this program is only a year old, is that correct?
The program is 10 years old for English-speaking students. It began in Amana this year.
This year in Amana. So, do you see a influx of people that never would have considered sending their children to Israel at such a young age by themselves? Do you see a big influx in this, or is it a slow-growing process?
It's a process growing because of the financial situation in the United States. There are families that have 3, 4, 5 children that simply cannot afford to pay the tuition with Jewish high schools. I am not competing against Jewish high schools in America. I am looking for kids from good Orthodox homes that families want to give them a good Jewish education in high school and simply cannot afford to do so. And I want to take those kids and give them a good Jewish education and the Jewish experience of their lives, so when they become adults and they have families of their own, those are the contents, the Judaism that they can give over to the next generation.
It's beautiful, it's beautiful. When these children are coming to Israel, especially the 10th graders who are 15 or 16 years old, are the parents, do you find the parents coming out once or twice a year to visit, or do you find that they're really relying on you guys 100% to take care of their children and waiting for them to come home next vacation, let's say?
The parents rely on us, but parents also have the option to email or even call or request that I call. And I consider they're right. I'm privileged that the parents have given trust in me, that they're giving me this privilege, this zchut, in order to give such a good education to their daughters.
Very nice. How many people are on staff? How many Rabbi Moros do you have on staff?
Well, I am the dean of the program, and below me there is a mechanechet, there's a dorm mother, there's a student counselor specifically for these girls. I have a social worker, a dorm counselor, and of course the staff of the entire institution, which also assists these girls.
Very nice. And tell me about secular studies. Everybody always wants to know, if I send my daughter to Israel for high school, I know that she's going to get ulpan and her Hebrew will be better, and that's a great thing. But what's going to happen to her biology, chemistry, physics, her geometry, her trigonometry, and so on and so forth, that the school that she's going to right now excels in? What's it going to be like when they come out of Israel from your program?
Well, if a girl has definitely scholastic ability, these girls will finish with a full Israeli high school diploma, will be called in Hebrew a Tudat Bagrut, which is recognized by universities all over the world.
It's very nice. And at what point, now they're coming in 10th grade, at what point do you feel that they are going to be academically capable of learning in Hebrew itself as a equal first language, or close to it at least? Is it by 11th grade, or is it by 12th grade? How does it really work out?
It's by 11th grade, because during 10th grade these girls are getting 19 hours a week of studying Hebrew language skills.
In an ulpan setting.
In an ulpan setting within the school. They're broken down into 2 classes in order so every girl she'll get the attention that she needs. And in 11th grade, she'll already be, in some of her studies, sitting next to Israeli girls in the same classroom and studying some subjects together with them in their own classes.
Very nice, very nice. Tell me about the Limudei Kodesh for girls. Depending on which school you go to, speaking of the Chicago area, in the Beit Yaakov programs, they are not teaching Gemara. In the Ida Crown program, they are teaching Gemara or not, depending on the girl's wanting to learn Gemara, and it really goes into advanced Gemara by the time they're seniors in high school if they want to continue in the Gemara program and not go into another Limudei Kodesh program within the school. How does it work where you are?
Well, by us, the basic demand, in order to get a diploma, these girls have a given program in Tanakh, in Bible. There is a given Tanakh in Torah Shebaal Peh, which is Halacha and Mishnah, and there's also a program in Machshevet Yisrael, which is Jewish philosophy. Of course, girls that have demands and they want to study things over and above, we offer these things with Chavrutot or special classes that are given in the evening. But the basic program is what the Ministry of Education of Israel demands that these girls do in order to get their full diploma.
Very nice. Now, when girls who are graduating high school here in the United States are choosing a seminary for 13th grade, we'll call it, as some of our high schools here in Chicago call it the 5th year of their programs, when the girls go to seminary in Israel, many of them are looking for a seminary that will not only offer them great education, but will offer them the Israel experience, meaning a lot of tiulim, how do you say that in English? Trips, a lot of trips to visit and tour Israel and learn about it and live Israel throughout the different places. Do you offer such a thing, or are we really staying in Kfar Saba for school during this year?
Well, over and above the regular trips that the school gives, we give these girls special trips in order to give them a much more deeper understanding of the history of Israel, the modern history of Israel, all sorts of stories of people that have sacrificed their lives and sacrificed many things in order that this can be a state, and learn about the leaders of Am Yisrael. And what is unique in the school is the fact that we try to teach it not just as history, but we see how Hashem's hand has guided all of these things in history, and we learn it as through belief and not just something that happened in history.
Living out history, being in Israel, you're living out the history.
That's right. To learn Tanakh in Israel, you can see where these things actually happen and does not just remain as theory.
I want to pull out this map of Israel right here. Could you show us where Kfar Saba is compared to, let's say, Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Yerushalayim, Jerusalem? Jerusalem is here. Tel Aviv is here. Haifa is up here in the corner. Obviously, the Negev and Eilat are down here. Where's Kfar Saba at?
Okay, Kfar Saba is over here, not far from Tel Aviv, in the center of the country. Here, of course, is Tel Aviv. Here is Netanya. And again, Kfar Saba is right here,
so
smacking
just about
the
in
middle.
between Netanya and Tel Aviv.
Yes.
Very, very nice. Now, tell me about, this is a very, very big discussion point because of last year, because of the missiles being shot out of Gaza, and something, people are scared. There are people who are afraid. When the air raid sirens went off in Yerushalayim and Tel Aviv, all of a sudden it changed. It went back almost to the days of the Iraq War and the Gulf War and the thoughts of Scud missiles. People are scared. How do we guarantee the safety of our children from terrorists, from bombs, and from just a travel perspective of being safe when you're off campus? How do we, as a school at Amana, how do we protect our children to keep our parents in the United States feeling safe and secure as well?
Well, first of all, a girl, in order to leave campus, has to get permission. She has to go with somebody else. She has to go with the cell phone, and she has to be back by a designated time. If she's going away for a weekend, we have to know in advance the name of the family and the telephone number. We check that this family is really waiting for this young lady. The minute the young lady arrives, she must call from a regular telephone and not a cell phone, so we are sure that she has reached her destination. As far as other security issue, well, the Army gives instructions to the school how we're supposed to react in any possible situation, which even includes earthquakes. What happens if an earthquake could happen? I mean, we've seen all sorts of natural disasters all over the world. So Israel is not unique in that respect. Also, if we talk about security issues, well, we know about all sorts of crazy people coming out with guns and starting shootings in school and kindergartens and universities. There was a stabbing.
We know. So
in Israel, at the entrance of the school, we have an armed guard around the clock. And again, we get our instructions as far as how to make sure that our girls remain secure and safe. So people should be rest assured that these girls are in the best of hands.
Very good. That's a wonderful thing to share, and I think everybody needs to hear that. Tell me a little bit about the Upana Bnei Akiva Amana vision. What is the connection to Yeshivot Bnei Akiva, and how does that affect your philosophy and your approach to religiosity as far as the students that come there?
Okay, as far as our philosophy, we go in the direction by Rav Avram Yitzchak Cohen Cook, that we are in the era of the Geula, the redemption, and therefore we understand that Hashem has decided that it's time for Am Yisrael to come home, and therefore it's a mitzvah to do everything in order to help the state. For example, when our students finish 12th grade, we very much hope that they go do national service and not just take care of their own personal needs. Shirut Leumi, definitely. And also that in the case of the boys that belong to these institutions, that ultimately they do the army, because is it a mitzvah not only to live in Israel, it's a mitzvah to protect Eretz Yisrael, and therefore it is a mitzvah to take part in the army, and because that's what the Torah tells us to do.
And so for the families that don't go to Aliyah and the children who return home, do you stay in touch with your students overseas after they leave Amana?
Definitely, because we have this term of Bat Amana. Bat Amana, like a child, will always remain a child of her parents. Anyone that studied in our school will always remain to be a student of ours. We are always there for her in times of need. If she gets married and there are financial problems, we will do everything to assist her in order to get her wedding on the road and the first necessities in order to start her home. So a daughter of ours will always be a daughter of ours, even many years have gone by.
Tell me about the dormitories. Tell me about the dormitories. Tell me about the food. Everybody worries, my child is going to go to Israel and she's not going to eat. She's not going to eat. The water is going to make her sick. Tell me about the food. Tell me about the water. Tell me about the dormitories and the dormitory life. And please conclude that with tell me about the camaraderie between these girls from all over the world.
Well, the dormitory is a situation that girls constantly have time together. We know that sometimes we question who really are the friends of my daughter. And here we know these daughters have been screened, they've been accepted to our school, therefore parents know that the friends of these girls are not just someone off the street, but serious girls that have been accepted into a private school. And they constantly having activities together, fun together, they do their homework together, and it's just a lot of fun and liveliness in the evening in the dormitory. As far as the food is concerned, well, we have a dining room of our own. The girls have all their meals together. We have a regular kitchen staff. We are being supervised by the Ministry of Health. And we have a mashgiach within the kitchen to make sure that everything is as it should be. And as far as the last point that was mentioned, Well, the fact is that the girls that study in Amanah see as a mitzvah to help with in gathering of the exiles, kibbutz galiyot, and you will see in classroom a girl from Israel sitting next to a girl from France, sitting next to a girl from the United States, sitting next to a girl from Ethiopia, and all in the same classroom.
That's great. That's great. It's really nice. The excitement of something like this, you know, I wish I had something available like that to me growing up, because I probably would have jumped at it, the whole, just for the experience itself, not only the Israel experience, but the experience of making friends from all over the world, which later in life I was able to do when I went to Yeshiva, but it would have been nice to do when I was younger. What is your long-term goal? What is your long-term goal as the dean, as somebody who's really responsible for much of the program? What do you see for the future?
I see in educating Jewish girls as building families. I consider my mission as to have the zchut, the merit of having a part in building as many Jewish families around the world, basically in Israel, but if a girl decides that she wants to be somewhere else in the world, so I've helped build a Jewish family somewhere else. But again, the basic is to build Jewish families. That is what educating girls is all about.
Wonderful. Tell me, do you find educating girls as rewarding as educating boys?
Well, I educated boys for a few years. Boys, their education really continues well into Yeshiva. And the girl situation is somewhat different. Girl, not too long after she finishes high school, is already considering beginning a family. She doesn't have the situation of spending a few years in Yeshiva, having to go to the army. So you generally see results much more clearly, and also the fact that girls keep a connection with the last institution that they study Torah. Boys generally will continue studying Torah at different institutions at a later age, and therefore the boys do not really retain that much of a relationship with their yeshiva high school in Israel, in contrast to the girls.
Tell me about the college-bound girls. Tell me about the girls who want to go to university, want to get a degree, and want to move on. Do you find most of them coming back to the States? To your overseas girls who've been with you, do you find many of them coming back to the States to do that, or do you find them wanting to go to like Hebrew U or Bar Ilan or taking university courses in Israel?
We find that the majority of them stay in Israel, majority of them going to universities in Israel and in all possible subjects, and not just to be teachers. Our graduates include doctors and lawyers, and I'm sure that during the years there'll be more and more graduates also from the girls from overseas that will also be filling these capacities.
It's a wonderful thing. You get to take a lot of nachas yourself at seeing your own students being so successful and turning out to be such wonderful people.
Well, not only seeing my own students, my 3 oldest daughters are themselves graduates of Amanah, and I could say that proudly, that yes, my 3 older daughters are graduates of Ulpanat Amanah.
Very nice, very nice. When the girls come to Israel, do you have them come on group flights? Do you have them come on individual flights set up by their families? With the Jewish agency, I understand the flights are taken care of by. And do you meet them and pick them up at the airport? How does that all work for the people coming in right away?
Well, the girls come flights from Toronto or from New York. The parents have to get them either to Toronto or to New York. And the minute they hit Israel, the school meets them at the airport, has a small party at the airport, and then take them on a bus together to Amanah.
Very nice. That's wonderful. Do they get to see family members and friends in Israel? If they have family members and friends in Israel, do they get an opportunity to go and visit while they're in school during the year?
Definitely. Out of every 3 Shabbatot, 1 Shabbat is in the dorm, which is mandatory, including all of the Israeli students. 1 Shabbat is optional, that they can stay in the dorm if they wish to, and if they don't wish to, they can go to families and friends. And the third Shabbat is that we want them to go out, so even girls that do not have families, we arrange for them adopted families that they will go at least one out of every 3 Shabbatot.
All right, and now here's a big question for me. I always wonder, when you're in a girls' institution, do they get the opportunity ever to daven with a minyan, to hear Kriyat HaTorah on Shabbat and Yom Tov? How does that work for girls in an institution such as this?
Well, we have a regular minyan that functions in Shabbat and Yom Tov in the Ulpana and all holidays. So the girls will hear Kriyat HaTorah, also in Shachris, also in Mincha. So definitely, and even the girls that are from a Sephardi background get permission to pray in Sephardi synagogues in order that they continue the customs of their families.
Wonderful, wonderful. I can't thank you enough for being on the show. This has been most informative. Tell me, how many cities are you traveling to in the United States recruiting and meeting people who might be interested in such a program?
Well, this time around I've been in New York, now I'm in Chicago, and on Friday I'm flying to Toronto. There was a screening process in Miami, it just couldn't be at the same time in Chicago and in Miami. And in the future, we hope to be also on the West Coast. In Los Angeles, there's supposed to be a screening process in June or July, and possibly a few other cities, depending, God willing. We shall get more girls and expand and broaden the horizon of the program.
So the program is called Elite Academy, correct? And the school, Amana, is part of the Bnei Akiva, Yeshivot, and what is the website that people can go to find out more information about this not-for-profit special program that you are representing?
Well, we have here on the brochure, they can contact, open on Google, you can put in Elite Academy, of the program in general. If anyone is interested in finding about our school and specifically, they can open up, write in Google Amana, A-M-A-N-A, school, and get to the right site and hear about us as much as can. And my contact information is there, and I will respond to anyone that writes me or requests that I give them a call to the States. I will do so.
Great. And I want to mention, and don't want to forget to mention, my good friend Gidon Berman here in the Chicago area, who is the coordinator of the Elite Academy program here in the Chicago area, www.elite-academy.org, and a lot of information there also. I want to thank you so much for being on the show, Rabbi Michael Berenson. Much success at Upanat Amana of Bnei Akiva in Kfar Saba, and the girls that you educate should be really Benot Torah and make you proud, make their parents proud, and all of Klal Yisrael.
Thank you very much.
And I want to thank you for being with us. Remember, you can check out our website, www.tvrabbi.com, where you can also see former shows on the web. If you want to email us or you want to email Rabbi Berenson, I'll be happy to forward the email to him. I know he'll get back to you. The email address is info@tvrabbi.com. Remember, we're on every week at this time. Thank you again, Rabbi Berenson, and thank all of you for being with us. Hope to see you next time right here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Shalom, everyone.
ממשלת ישראל בראשותי, בשיתוף עם הסוכנות היהודית וארגונים נוספים, מפעילים מגוון של תוכניות, דוגמת מסע ונעלה, תוכניות שמעניקות לצעירים היהודים בתפוצות אפשרות ללמוד את מורשתנו ושפתנו פה במדינת ישראל.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.